once again. Welcome into Wednesday morning and another edition of Exiles TV. Glad to have you with us. I'm Kevin. He's Bill.
You're serious today. You got your glasses on.
Yeah. Well, that's so I can take them off dramatically like this.
Can I tell you a little glasses story?
Yeah, go ahead. I love your stories.
Yeah, I had LASIK probably 24 years ago, and it was really good LASIK. I mean, my vision was very, very sharp, and I've noticed lately that I'm having a little trouble, like driving at night.
Oh yeah, starburst. Starburst halo.
Well, no.
A lot of people get LASIK, like me. You get starburst halo off of any light source.
I never had that. I was really lucky. But like reading street signs, I have to be right up on top of them. Yeah, exactly that. Now, which is funny because in daylight, like right now,
fine,
like an eagle, and pitch blackness in the house, I'm fine. But if it gets mixed light, like it's late in the evening and I'm 20 feet away from the TV, so I decided, do the right thing. Don't be a danger when you're on the road. Go to the eye doctor.
Yeah.
And Dr. Glenn LaMonica, who is a fan of the show, by the way, hi Glenn, examined me. He said, "Yeah." He said, "Your LASIK has dialed itself back a little bit." But he said, "You can still get a driver's license." He said, "In fact, you can still get a commercial driver's license if you want." Gee, I've always wanted to drive a FedEx truck. But he said,
we might be reduced to that.
Yeah, we might be. But
not reduced. It's not a bad thing.
But it's better benefits.
That's for sure.
Snappy ride. But anyway, he said, "Yeah." He said, "I get a lot of this with LASIK that's older that you need it just for driving." And I said, "Yeah." So he prescribes me some glasses, and he writes on there, driving use, single vision, keep it simple. And the insurance company, People's Health, is really good. They said, "Well, we'll pay for your first pair of prescription glasses in a year."
Well, isn't that nice?
Pick them out. And they said, it takes about 3 weeks. I said, "Okay, that's fair. It takes about 3 weeks."
Why?
Well, because
I've had them grind glasses for me in like 45 minutes.
Yes, but an insurance company that is giving them to you for no copay
wants to check them out.
They want a central lab where they send all their business so they get a good price on them.
Okay, all right, got it.
Laboratories in New Orleans.
And if you're getting them for virtually free, then so be it.
No, for actually free.
Well, you have to pay your insurance premium.
Not when you're over a certain age, you don't.
Hey.
Not for this. But anyway, I've already paid it. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
But anyway, so it gets to 3 weeks and I'm not hearing anything. So it gets to 3 weeks and 4 days. So I call the eye doctor's office and said, "We're going to call and check on him." So they called me back. It was like on a Friday, and they said, "Look, I can't get through their provider line because if you're a doctor's office or an optician, you're the provider. Is a wait time, and we've got patients here." I said, "I understand." So on Monday, I said, "Well, I've never used their patient assistance line. I'll call it."
How was that for you?
They answered right away.
Oh, really?
She said, "I'm going to put you on about a 3 or 4 minute hold and find out where your glasses are." She said, "I see the prescription was entered." And she said, "You should have them by now, so let me find out." This lady came back on. She was so very nice. She said, "I don't even know how to tell you this, but I'm just going to come right out and tell you." And I said, "What?" She said, "When they were inspecting them, they broke them." I said, "Wait, at the optical lab?"
That's priceless.
When the optical lab was inspecting the glasses?
Oh, yipes.
She said, "Broke them." And I said, "They can't repair them?" And she said, "No, they have to do a whole new set of glasses," which they have done.
So that means they broke the lenses. They didn't break the frames.
Yeah, they broke the lenses.
Or a lens.
So they had to do a whole new set of glasses for me, and they should be here probably this time next week. But there's a little glasses story for you.
So what'd you go with for frames? You go with a nice, stylish horn rim type situation?
Actually, they're kind of like the frames you have there.
That qualifies as a horn rim, don't you think?
Yeah, although most horn rim is a little more round. But yeah, I went with that. I mean, these are probably going to live in the car and only be used at night. But
these are Clark Kent specials.
Yes, indeed. But I've never known anybody to say, yeah, while we were inspecting them for quality, we broke them.
I got a suggestion. You need to hire maybe a new inspector, or quit having the guy that inspects the beef at the slaughterhouse.
You also have things conjured up in your head like, okay, do they have a room where they take every pair of glasses and they shoot it with a pellet gun or something?
Were they doing this inspection here?
They broke them. Never heard that one before.
They broke it.
I was expecting to hear, well, your prescription because of your astigmatism was a little more complicated and it took a couple times to get it right. No, they broke them.
Are they going to send you your prescription? Are you going to have a physical copy of your prescription?
I left the office with it.
Warby Parker, next time you need glasses.
Warby Parker?
WarbyParker.com.
I love their name. I've always been intrigued by them.
They're a very, very reasonable source. There's about 90% of the eyeglasses you get, no matter what the brand name is or where you get them, all come from the same guys. There's like a company that's got a huge monopoly on eyeglasses and frames.
Yeah, it's called WeBe Glasses.
Warby Parker is not part of that machine. So they're a way to get a considerable price break.
I like their advertising. Their advertising is very appealing.
Considerable price break on your eyeglasses and frames. Let's take a break. Why not? Seems like a good thing to do.
Let's go break some glasses.
Let's watch a Coca-Cola commercial, maybe find out how to get ourselves a Lillian Axe album and some more, and we'll be back with Exiles TV.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. In case you're wondering what's going on in our nation's capital, right now there are procedural votes ahead of yet another impeachment of Donald Trump. It's not enough that this guy's going to be leaving his job next week. We have to impeach him before he can go to make sure
that he's really impeached.
That makes sure that he's, see? And that, impeachment would mean he could never rear his ugly head in American politics
You know
again.
what? Not necessarily. I did a little research. While there are a lot of people, and again, we always get people that have never actually read it or taken the civics course
But
and all that.
think they know.
That think they know.
I think I'm kind of in that category.
Well, but the thing is,
I know a little, but I don't know everything.
If there is a conviction, they can then have a second vote by acclamation as to whether the impeached person is barred from ever running for public office again. It is not automatic.
Oh,
And
I didn't know that.
no, it's his second vote. Now, and here's the deal. The last impeachment I remember of someone in the Congress was Alcee Hastings. And that was about 35 years
I
ago.
was going to say, I was young.
Well, Alcee was a real mercurial character, and here's why. He was from the suburbs of New York City. He was from Jamaica Plains, a mixed area between very well-to-do and very, very dirt poor, okay? And he was a firebrand, this guy. He wore very expensive suits. He would run off at the mouth, but not in a typical New York-style fashion. He was very, very, he was almost Shakespearean in the way he acted.
Really?
He also liked to buy those very expensive suits and cars and things like that with the money he got from bribing contractors or taking bribes from contractors for federal projects.
Okay.
The investigation.
Kickbacks. Gotta love them.
The investigation went on for a very long time, and he never ever played the race card, which was amazing considering this was 35 years ago or more. You know, he never said they're just going after me because I'm a black senator and they don't like black senators. Or maybe it was the House of Representatives. He never played the race card. Well, as it turned out, he was found guilty in the federal court. So they said, well, we pretty much need to impeach him. And they did. But when it came time to vote on whether or not he could ever hold public office again, they did not.
Because they kind of liked him.
Well, at that time, you know, you got to remember, what we consider the civil rights movement was pretty well established back in the 70s. But in terms of civil rights in the federal government, in terms of holding elected position, it was in its infancy. And I think there were a lot of people, both Democrat and Republican, that thought that you don't need to pile on an African American
I see where
member
you're
of
going.
Congress who has already been found guilty in federal court
And very publicly shamed for it.
and very publicly shamed for it. And if he does his 2 years of whatever it was, there was still probation in the federal system back then. If he still does his 2 years of federal probation and all that, and the people want him back, then that's on them. That was my view of the thinking at the time. Now, right after that, there was a federal judge, which is not elected, it's appointed. About 3 years after that, federal judge. And when they impeached him for his malfeasance in office, they barred him from holding any position elected or appointed ever again.
Wow.
You know, it's not an automatic. And there is a lot of rhetoric flying around. And if you remember,
What I think is funny, though, Bill, is that all this is to hopefully assure Washington that Donald Trump will never be back. And it's like, what makes you think, after the treatment he's received from Washington
wants to come
and
back?
from the country in general, what makes you think that he would ever want to serve this country again?
Well-
If I were him, I would go on national television the night before the inauguration and throw a great big FU in the face of the entire country and go off to Mar-a-Lago and play golf until I died.
There are a lot of people that think he's already done that with his actions since the election.
I don't see anything wrong with his actions since the elections. All he's done is talk to his base. That's all he's done.
Well,
And I don't agree that he incited anything to happen at the Capitol. There's plenty of there's plenty of not apocryphal, I don't know what kind of word I'm looking for. There's evidence that things were already starting to happen at the Capitol building before Trump had even finished speaking. And it's a good hike from the Washington Monument to the state Capitol.
it is 1 mile.
It's a good hike. It's a
Yeah.
good long hike.
Yeah, it's 1 mile.
And so if Trump is up there inciting a riot, then how come people were already starting to
Well-
break in? And plus, the other thing that nobody's talking about, somebody let a whole bunch of those people in.
Well, they
just let them in.
They retreated because they were overwhelmed. But none of that has anything to do with it. The fact of the matter is, there are people that believe that his rhetoric has been very, very detrimental, not to that day particularly, but to the purpose of the peaceful transition of power that we have. And you said it yourself. He should have just said, okay, I don't agree with it.
I said it earlier this morning.
I don't agree with it, but it's time to go.
When the Electoral College met and the votes were confirmed, that should have been the end of it for Trump. If I were him, I would have dummied up until Inauguration Day.
Now, I am more concerned, I am greatly concerned with what his son, Don Jr., was saying. I thought, first of all, it wasn't Don Jr.'s place to say this. Secondly,
I think he thinks he's going to run for president
Oh,
someday.
I think he does too.
I'd vote for Ivanka before I would Don Jr.
Well, because, as her own father said, I'd do her. But when he was sitting there saying, this is no longer the Republican Party, this is the Trump Party, I can see how a lot of Republicans, whether they supported the president wholeheartedly, half-heartedly, or not at all, could take great offense at this and say, okay, we have got to get this cloud from over our heads if we are going to continue.
Well, what you just said is the reason why the Republicans on Capitol Hill hate him as well. The Republicans on Capitol Hill hate Trump because they feel like he's hijacked their party. Because all the working class folks, remember the Republican Party used to be the white collar party. It used to be the party of chairmen and CEOs and managers. And somewhere along the line, it became the party of the working class. Because the working class who were Democrats realized that it's no longer about me. This is all about pandering to minorities, etc. So the working class rallied around Trump, and it is, to some extent, the Trump party. And they don't like that. The Republicans don't like that one bit.
But the visible examples we see, whether they are 100% indicative or 20% indicative of the Trump party, the video that we've seen, the stills we've seen, the things that we've heard screeching out of voices, that if that represents the Trump party, nobody wants that to be their logo. Not Democrat, not Republican, not independent, not libertarian.
Well, yeah, what you're saying is nobody wants that kind of stupidity
Exactly.
to be associated with the Republican Party.
Well, speaking of stupid, I just talked through the break, so I guess we better stop.
All right, let's take a break, and we'll be back with more Exiles TV. Thanks for being with us today.
Oh, we are.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Team Honda wants to thank you for once again making us Louisiana's #1 new car dealer by offering you never-before-seen savings. For the first time ever, get 0% financing up to 60 months on some of your favorite Honda models. Get thousands in savings right now at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Hey, welcome back to Exiles TV. Bill and I just started a conversation off the air that raising some questions. So let's talk about it a little bit. If the president is impeached before the official end of his term, which is the 20th, what happens to his ability to pardon and grant clemency? Is that negated in any way?
Well, the minute the impeachment is voted on in a positive manner, he no longer has the power of the office. So the pardon to power and grant clemency
So if
is
he's
gone
going to grant pardons, he
at
better
that
get his
moment.
ass busy today and be granting them.
Well, and he's been granting pardons. Now, here's what's interesting. There has been a lot of talk about prospective pardons, proactive pardons, things
Provisional
like that.
pardons?
Provisional pardons.
Here, it's like a letter from the Pope saying, whatever you've done for the good of the church.
So I have an old friend who spent her career as an attorney, and she is now retired from the Jaworski law firm. For those of you who are our age,
I remember Leon Jaworski, the
Yeah.
Watergate incident, the end of the Nixon White House.
yeah, his law firm handled the Nixon side of the Watergate incident, and they also did some advising on pardons by Gerald Ford for Richard Nixon.
He was a national bad guy, too,
Yeah.
because he was representing a national bad guy.
But it is a huge law firm. I mean, if you drive by, this is like this 28-story white granite building with gleaming green windows. I mean, and on top in letters that look like they're 12 feet high, the Jaworski law firm. But anyway, here is what she has advised. First of all, if you get a presidential pardon, you have to also sign an admission of guilt. So let's take it away from what's happening now. Let's say that President Trump wants to pardon Michael Cohen,
Okay.
which I think he did, by the way. But
I know he did Michael Flynn. I don't think Cohen's a big enough player in his.
maybe not. But let's say he wants to pardon somebody there,
Okay.
or somebody that he's never met, but a governor says, "Look, this guy, he really shouldn't have gotten 25 years." Whatever it is, you have to admit guilt before the pardon becomes effective. If you say, "Thank you, I didn't do this, but I'm free now," no, you're not. Now, as far as pardoning himself, there is no precedent for that. Now, they've said if he really feels he needs a pardon, he should resign and let Pence pardon him if he feels he really needs one. But if there is no precedent, doesn't mean it's not possible. So if he wants to pardon himself, and there was talk 2 days ago and yesterday about pardoning his children for future offenses, the same rules would apply. They would have to admit guilt for the pardon to be a pardon. So it's kind of a...
So even though you're pardoned and you're not necessarily convicted of the crime yet, you have to go on the record as saying, yes, I did this thing.
Yeah, accepting a pardon requires an admission of guilt, which, if you think about it, keeps it from becoming a Monopoly game where you just roll the dice and get your get-out-of-jail-free card.
I wonder if he'll grant a lot of clemency before he leaves office. Now, clemency is not a pardon. What clemency is it just says you've done enough time, your sentence is now over, and you're allowed to go. But your conviction still stands, and all it is the president saying, I'm letting you out of prison.
Yeah.
Now, President Obama did a lot of that. He granted a lot of clemency to people before he left office.
Well, and
it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Well, a lot of governors do it, and a lot of presidents. I mean, they used to keep account, and it's like George W. Bush did something like 168 pardons, commutations, and clemencies, and they said that was an average number. I think Clinton did 200 and something. I think Bush's father, 41, didn't do many at all. I think he did like 35.
Obama did a large number, but I can't remember what the figure was.
Like 560,
yeah,
something
it was
like
a
that.
big number. But then again, that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad thing that he did it. Some of these people might have deserved to get out of jail.
Well, but also you get a commutation with your clemency if you're getting out of jail. A lot of clemencies are, LBJ did a couple of these, where you had civil rights leaders that were charged under the federal system, for what would have been a minor offense, and they did their time. They did 2 years or 3 years, but they wanted it off their record, and he wanted it off their record because he thought that the system might have been tilted not in their favor at the time. So that's one of your full clemencies. It's like, okay, you're out. I know you've done your time.
Yeah, I actually misspoke earlier. When I was saying the word clemency, what I meant was a commutation.
Yeah.
Which your conviction still stands, you just get to get out of jail.
And see, then with a clemency, you can also apply for a restoration of your rights, most notably to own and carry firearms, to get a hunting license, to vote in federal
Voting rights,
elections, things like that. But it's very interesting. I worry, and I think it's particularly stunning depending on the personality who's doing it. And Donald Trump, love him or not, support him or not, has always had the air about him, and he's said it quite a few times, that the rules don't apply to me. And so I think it makes it a lot more piquing of your interest when he is talking before anybody's been served with a subpoena that he wants to pardon his family and perhaps himself. Okay? Remember, this is the man whose swagger includes saying,
I could shoot someone on the middle of Fifth Avenue
and nobody would care.
Nobody would care.
And who also said, and then had to walk it back, the President of the United States has unlimited powers. And somebody brought him a constitution and said, no, you don't. The President of the United States has very limited powers. So it will be, you know what, if I were him, I wouldn't do it. And here is why. I don't think they're going to have anything indictable in the federal milieu against his kids. And a presidential pardon would not apply to any state charges. And if there are state charges against anybody in his family, it's probably going to be due to some sort of financial disagreements or arrangements or problems, and that should play out on its own. But let's just say that we discovered that Don Jr. did something where he's going to get federally indicted. I would think that the next president would wait to see how it plays out and then say, look, I don't think justice is served by having this guy go to prison for 20 years for doing what he thought was in the best interest of his father's administration. It's just too close. And I don't think any sitting president would feel good about that. And we have had cases in the past where presidential relatives, close presidential relatives, like Billy Carter, with his financial dealings with Libya, you want to talk about federal prison.
Well, and the one that people don't talk about as much is Chip Carter, who was involved in some shady dealings as well.
But Reagan said, don't pursue it because I'm not going to, and because he realized that now when you start reaching into family members and all of this, I just think we've had enough unseemliness with this stuff. If you were, and you and I are in the same situation, we have no children, but if we did,
Yeah, damn it, no kids.
if we had children, they would be adult children now. If you were elected to a high office, would you put your kids on the payroll?
I think it's unseemly, and I think it's not good form. And when Trump took off doing it, I thought it was a bad idea. I didn't agree when President Clinton said, my wife, the first lady, will be one of my top advisors.
Yeah.
That's not the role of a first lady. I mean, at least not the official role of a first lady. But then again, I thought maybe Clinton was merely, making official what's going to be a reality. I mean,
Well, yeah, but I mean, I would not.
I wouldn't have had, if I were Trump, I wouldn't have had Ivanka and Don Jr. and I wouldn't have had them so involved in the White House. I would have tried to distance my family from the White House as much as possible.
It'd be like going away to college. See you on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I think it also, I think it puts your family in a different kind of emotional jeopardy if you give them official roles.
That also makes them a target for the people who hate you.
Exactly.
Why would you want to do that to your daughter and your son? Make them a target for people who hate you?
I mean, George H.W. Bush did a lot of things I didn't agree with, but George H.W. Bush had 3 very well-educated, very government and business-savvy kids, and they basically had to call ahead and say, is it okay if I come and visit you in the White House?
Yeah.
They never had any official ceremonies, any official duties, and I think George H.W. Bush was very, very wise to do it that way.
He encouraged his sons to be their own men and make, I think he helped them along the way somewhat, but the Bush dynasty did. But, he didn't want them to have a free ride because Daddy was the president.
Well, and he also didn't want to have to say, why did you appoint your kid, to a position in government? I remember when John F. Kennedy...
Because I can, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. When John F. Kennedy appointed Bobby, and the world was different then. To be the Attorney General of the United States, and they asked him why he did that, and did he think it was out of place or unseemly or blatant nepotism? And at the time, JFK said, no, he's an Attorney General that I can trust because he's my brother. And people somehow went along with that. I don't think
plus
anybody...
we were in love with the Kennedys back then.
Oh, yeah. I
We
don't
were
think
in love with the Kennedys.
anybody would go with that today.
Yep. Time for another break. We'll be right back with more. This is Exiles TV. Glad to have you with us.
Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are 2 busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Hey, welcome back to Exiles TV. I talked to my mom the other day, who was just yesterday. Well, it was yesterday because she celebrated her 86th birthday. God bless her.
Happy birthday, Miss Gallagher.
Marilyn W. Gallagher, Natchez, Mississippi. And I have, of course, arguably the best mom in the world. But she asked me if I could bring this up on my television show. It's the old... I hate when people try to scam the elderly.
Oh, God.
Because they assume because you're elderly that you're a moron. And sadly, sometimes that's the case. Not a moron, but you know that you can be fooled.
Well, and sometimes it's born of loneliness, you know?
But it's the old you didn't pay your electric bill scam. And it's not always, it's not your most recent electric bill. It's a bill you failed to pay like a year and a half ago. And they, as they told Mom, this is relevant to a bill from 2019 that you never paid. And so a person, I think a lot of times, an elderly person in their 80s, they may be enough memory issues where, I don't know, did I miss a payment?
Well, and they threaten, don't they?
They threaten you with, unless you make arrangements right now, like I want to transfer you to someone to take credit card or ATM debit card information right now, that we got a guy in the area that's going to come out and shut off your power right now. Now my mom is not so stupid. And my mom, like me, you know, there's priorities in a Gallagher household. The one thing you always pay is you never ever fail to pay to keep a roof over your head, whether that's a mortgage payment or rent, and you never ever fail to pay your utility bill. Those are the two things you need. You need heat, you need a home. You know, cable. Sometimes you got to, you know, if money's tight, you got to, you know, you got to triage. But Mom never misses a mortgage payment or an electric bill. So she knew right away that somebody was trying to you know, pull her leg. So while she was being transferred to whoever, she just hung up the phone. But she said, you know, I can't help but wonder how many other, you know, men and women like me have fallen for this thing. So, and it's not just happening in Natchez, Mississippi, it's happening everywhere. So if someone calls you, it's happened to you?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. If someone calls
4
you
weeks ago
and says they're from your utility company and they, you know, want to collect a debt related to a bill a year or more ago that you never paid, call them on it. Ask them to provide you proof and tell them until you get proof that you're not going to pay them anything.
12 days.
Chances are they'll hang up on you.
Yeah, 12 days before Christmas. I was out, actually, it was after our show. So it was early afternoon, and I was going to look for a Christmas present for Karen. And she sends me a text message and says, got a call saying that we have a past due bill and they're going to cut us off in 45 minutes if we don't pay. And I mean, I occasionally forget to do things. And I didn't think I had forgotten to pay the utility bill. So she calls the number. She texted me the number that they gave her. And its number is not in service. It was a spoof number. So I said, okay. So I called Entergy. And they said, you are the 5th person today.
Wow.
This is a scam. She said, your account is not past due. And she said, by the way, tell people that we never contact you over the phone about a potential disconnection. You get a letter from us.
You get a disconnect notice.
That has disconnect notice.
Past due notice, disconnection, imminent, something like that.
And it's usually you get 10 days on the date of that letter. But I mean, it scared Karen. It scared me until I realized the number that they wanted to use for payment didn't work. I guess they figured if you didn't offer right there while they were talking to you.
Yeah, that's what they want to do. They want to transfer you to someone who will take your information. I got one of these about 5 years ago, and it was the electric bill. And what I told them, the call didn't last long, because I said, well, that's a nice try, but Demco just automatically taps my account. I mean, my electric bills are paid automatically every month. So thanks for trying, and I'll let you move on to the next rube. And this dude, of course, sorry, but he had one of these kind of accents where he is talking, and he said his name was Steve Newton, even though he sounded more like Rajesh Kuthrapalli. And when I told him, I said, listen, that would probably work, except for the fact that, my electric bill is paid by auto draft every month. So I'll let you get on to the next rube. He starts cussing at me. And I mean, words I can't even get close to using on this television show. And then he hangs up the phone. And I was laughing at him while he was cussing at me. I was like, ha, 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 big belly laugh, big fake belly laugh at him. But I hate scammers, and people that scam elderly people, to me, are the worst kind of scum on this planet.
Well, and apparently it works because they keep doing it.
Yes, of course it works. It works because elderly people, they're scared to death of things like, especially it's January. You don't want your power cut off. You don't want the gas company to come and close off the tap, and you don't have gas to heat your home anymore.
Well, and
they're scared to death of this kind of stuff.
We're supposed to have federal legislation that keeps us from getting these calls, right?
Yeah, that worked like a charm, didn't it?
Yes. Now,
I appreciate Senator Vitter for helping to put that into place, but it never worked, Senator.
Today alone, I have received 2 calls from unknown numbers that I did not answer.
Yep.
Yesterday, there were 3 from unknown numbers.
Yesterday,
that I didn't
remember,
answer.
I got a call in the middle of a television show. My phone was ringing, and I'm like, who do I know in Doddsville, Missouri? Nobody.
Day before yesterday, I got a call from Skiatook, Oklahoma.
Skiatook. It's a big business center.
Oh yeah, I think that's where Visa keeps their headquarters. But
I hate scammers so badly.
And then Verizon. Do you have Verizon?
Yes.
I have Verizon. Says we are putting in scam alert and spam alert on your phone at no charge as part of our customer service to you.
It's not working.
Not a bit. About once every 5 or 6 days, I see a call come up and it says potential spam. They're not stopping it.
Only once in a blue moon do I get a call that says potential spam, and it's still there. There's the line still ringing.
Yes.
Now what I do is I just shut off the ringer and put the phone down.
But these older people that get hit up by these people, and a lot of them also have their children or somebody else taking care of these things for them. You take my checkbook, when the electric bill comes in, you pay it. And so they get worried. Did my daughter or my son, did they forget to do it? Or a lot of I think a lot of seniors kind of funny. It's like someone's stealing my identity. It's like, well, they're not getting much for it, but they get worried, and this kind of worry in somebody of that age is clinically dangerous. Now, your mom's got a good head on her shoulders.
Yeah, she's clever.
But think about someone your mother's age, kids are gone out of the house, spouse may not be there anymore, might have passed away.
Or, as you said, they trusted, one of their offspring to take care of their bills for them.
And they get this phone call, and their first reaction is their blood pressure goes up, their heart starts to palpitate.
Next thing you know, it's ambulance time.
Yeah, I really, really, really dislike this. There is not a utility company on the face of the earth that cannot send you a letter And I think most of them do.
My mom is also real old school. A lot of older people like to do things old school. They like to write the check, put the check in the envelope, lick the stamp, put it in the mail. And I said, Mom, why don't you just, you know, now she does have auto draft on her electric. And I said, you know, you can get with your bank and set this all up where the bank just sends them the money when the time comes. You've got a fixed income, but it's a fixed, consistent income, and the money's always there. You don't have like some people where it gets a little lean towards the end of the month, that sort of thing, and you need to take a little control of when you're actually sending the payments out. But I said, you know, she's like, I just don't know if I trust the bank to make my payments for me. I said, it's all done electronically. Now, my bank, if they can't electronically transmit the money to the payee, my bank will actually print a check and stick it in the mail to them.
But then we have our bank, and I'm not trashing them, we're going to get to the bottom of this, our bank for our Exiles production company. By the way, we sell advertising. But call me. Kevin has been getting alerts on his phone for the last 3 weeks of people trying to access our account.
Like the 7th time.
Yeah.
They will send, you know, our Gulf Coast Bank and Trust will send me an email saying somebody tried to get into your checking account using a bad password.
Yeah. Now, what they're not telling us is if they stopped them and identified them.
No, I don't think they have any way to do that. They merely can sense that a bad password was given, and I think the way it works is you get 1, 2, 3 strikes and then you're out. But then you can always try again later.
I'll tell you what I do, and this is a lot of years ago, but boy, it really stuck with me. When we transferred all of our services from the house we had been living in to the house we live in now, something got lost in translation. And I was doing the electronic payment thing, and I get a disconnect notice from the power company. I get the water company actually standing at my main outside, turning the wrench to turn it off, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then I hear from the telephone company that they're going to disconnect us. This is still when we had hardwired phones. And what happened was I used one of these transfer agents that was going to transfer all your utilities and make the payment for you and all that, and they didn't do it.
Oops.
So what I did, as I was talking to some people, and there are no-fee payment centers for Entergy all over this city. And you hand them your check and your bill, and they run it through a machine that converts your check to a payment for Entergy and gives you a receipt typed on your check. And the water company will give you a receipt and tell you if there's any pending balance or anything like that. So I take a few minutes every month and do that in person, and that way I've got the receipt in my hand.
Yeah.
We have to take a break. Back in a moment on Exiles TV.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer welcomes you to our biggest clearance sale of the year, the Happy Honda Day sales event. Get year-end clearance pricing on over 900 new Hondas, plus a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Honda. Save thousands on your new Honda right here at Team Honda.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hey, we're back. And we're glad to have you with us, Exiles TV. Now, I vented my spleen on scammers, Bill. Did you have something that you wanted to get off of your chest today?
This is a local interest story, and I think it's very interesting that it's breaking on the same day that the mayor is going to do her State of the City address. Judge William Morvant has rejected a change of venue request for the civil lawsuit over the death of Alton Sterling. Parish attorney...
I didn't think that the Alton Sterling case needed a change of venue, personally.
Apparently, the judge didn't think so either.
Well, he did a little research and, talking to potential jurors and asking them, is your opinion already colored on this matter? And a lot of them apparently said no.
Well, and again, what's interesting, it wasn't the Sterling family's team. It was Parish Attorney Andy Dotson, who requested the change in venue after the last time the Metro Council rejected a proposed $5 million settlement. He had asked for the trial to be moved to a parish with, quote, a similar ethnic mix for a jury pool. Lawyers for the city of Baton Rouge have argued the local jury pool has been influenced by media coverage about protests on police brutality. This got a little pushback from Judge Morvant.
Interesting.
Here's what he said. The test isn't going to be, have you heard anything about this? I think if we go anywhere within the four corners of this state, that's going to be pretty hard to do. So what is happening is when it does come to trial, it will be tried in East Baton Rouge Parish by a jury pool made up of citizens sworn and true from the parish of East Baton Rouge.
So this will be tried in a civil courtroom.
This is a civil courtroom.
In the 19th.
In the 19th.
Okay.
Now, one might say it might be wise to request a bench trial rather than a jury trial on this one if you think the jury pool has been tainted. But I think for political reasons that they won't do that.
But that was the city attorney requesting the change of venue.
Parish attorney, yeah.
Parish attorney, city parish attorney. Does it seem to you like the city parish wants to give the Sterling family money? I mean, this has twice come up before Metro Council and been voted down. And now you get a delaying tactic, a change of venue asked for by the city parish. You would think the city parish would want to win a civil case against the city parish, wouldn't you?
There are some factions within city parish government, within Metro Council, that would love to settle this and get this off their plate. Because they feel that if they go to court, even if they win, and the judge follows the law and assigns the value of lost earnings and all that, which is what you do in a wrongful death suit, they're going to end up, this family's going to end up with very close to zero.
Well, we've talked about this before, but let's talk about it again. Alton Sterling sold bootleg CDs in a parking lot. What was his earnings potential for his family that they were cut off from?
Exactly. And see, the thing is, even if they prevail, the judge has got to determine guidance on the value. I understand that we don't have punitive damages anymore in these type of cases, which is a whole nother story. But I think there are people in the city parish government and at the council that say, "Oh, just give them some money so this all goes away. Just give them some money. Just give them some money so this all goes away." And a trial gives them two possibilities: that the Sterling family might lose a trial, or they might win and get awarded next to nothing, which would actually, in a lot of ways, be even worse. Because
well, a slap in their face will not be met well by the community with a capital C.
Exactly. But see, if they get an outcome that they don't like, they do have some right of appeal. It's not as broad as the right of appeal in a criminal case.
Trial. Yeah.
But appealing the damages when it's been set by the court, that sometimes works. If they suspect a miscalculation, but not this time, you got nothing you can go on.
Well, that's been what I've heard from legal people, is that they basically got no real case. That's why they kept seeking to get an out-of-court settlement.
And a bigger settlement, they shouldn't have asked for such a big number. I think they would have had their settlement now if they'd asked for $500,000. $5 million, not going to happen.
Yeah.
That is going to do it for us today. The mayor does her State of the City address at noon. I'm sure you'll be able to see it on one of the other cable channels, and I'm sure we'll have something to talk about with that. Also, situation in Washington heating up. Working on getting a couple of retired FBI agents who did work counterterrorism to join us on this program, perhaps next week.
Yep. So we thank you very much for watching and hope you'll be with us again tomorrow for Exiles TV.
Until that time, stay well and try to stay warm. Have a good day.
God bless.
Bye-bye.